osteoporosis would be brittle bone because the bone is so fragile from the lack of the matrix. Yeah. See? So would rickets osteomalacia patients be at risk for breaks, not because of the brittle bone, because they don't, because the bone have a great, exactly, Dan. The bone is just has this greater bending capacities under so much stress. Yeah. So exercise increases the activity of both the osteoclast and the osteoblast, Ryan. But the good thing with doing the weight bearing activity is it forces the osteoblast to work, because in a situation like osteoporosis, the osteoblasts aren't working at a they are working very limitedly. Does that make sense, guys? So for kids with reduced variable legs, so typically, so Gabrielle, what they'll do is they'll brace the legs, especially if they have difficulty walking, and then they'll replace the vitamin D and help the bone to be stronger as the growth continues. Because remember, your skeleton is constantly remodeling all throughout your life. Yeah. So the legs will still be bowed, but they'll be stronger essentially. So the medication for osteoporosis then typically is not, they typically what they will target is to try to slow down the osteoclastic activity through the use of like increasing your estrogen. Because remember, the estrogen is supposed to halt the osteoclastic activity. So if you're given like estrogen supplementation, it allows you to actually try to manipulate the osteoclastic activity by decreasing it. Exactly that. And then of course the vitamin D supplementation to help, build back the matrix with the calcium. And it is this, yeah, it is the same for men because, believe it or not, men have estrogen too. So they can take the supplementation. So it would be okay. So I mean, it's not impossible to end up with both. I mean, you could have a vitamin D deficiency due to malnourishment, and then there is something that triggers the imbalance. So it's not impossible then. Ryan, it is actually in terms of osteoporosis in men, it a lot of it comes back to changes in their estrogen. And also, of course, maybe if they have some kind of chronic renal disease or something like that. So, it is realistic then. It's not impossible at all because they're caused by two different things. So you could say, for example, you have a woman, she's like an older woman, let's say she's in her 70s, right? And she lacks vitamin D. Okay. She develops osteoporosis from her osteomalacia from her lack of vitamin D, right? Due to malnourishment or something like that. And then her drop in estrogen leads her to have the imbalance between the osteoclast and the osteoblast. So it's not that it's not realistic. It is possible, but a lot of times we don't have that problem because so many things are vitamin D fortified. So osteomalacia and rickets are not as common, especially in the Western world anymore, because of that supplementation that we have, that fortified, everything is fortified. Yeah, so that's true, Dan. Like there are lots of risks with hormonal therapy that you receive from transgender reassignments. And a secondary osteoporosis is a possibility. These are some good questions, guys. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Let's say we've got this case. We've got Carla, she's 67. She calls you because you're a good neighbor, you're a good person, because she's fallen and she wants help to the emergency department. She tripped, she fell. She tried to stop her fall with her right hand. Previously, she's fractured her left hip in a few months ago. She tends to be sedentary. She's small in stature and she's very slim. What do you think is her issue? Do you think she's suffering from osteomalacia, osteoporosis, rickets? What do you think her issue is? You think she might be suffering from osteoporosis? Yes. And what do you think might be the onset of her osteoporosis? You definitely rickets, no. Her sedentary lifestyle, anything else? Her age, right? And her stature, the fact that she's postmenopausal, exactly, right? So because we think she's got a postmenopausal osteoporosis, what is the pathogenesis of her disease? How do you think it all came about for her? Due to her menopause, what happened? She has a decrease in estrogen, and then therefore, her, the decrease in estrogen leads to increased osteoclastic activity, leading to the demineralization and eventually the fragile bone. Very, very good. So what are you going to advise this lady to do? Do some estrogen replacement. Be more active, absolutely, yeah. Weight-bearing exercises, but not too much because you don't want her bones to snap, right? So it has to be some kind of like light weight-bearing exercises for her. Yeah, not too much powerlifting though, not too heavy, but definitely, you know. Perfect. All right. Everybody's okay with this? Awesome. All right. Well, that is all I have for you guys today. Yes, very much so. All right, guys, you take care. Remember, it's a public holiday on Wednesday, so there is no class. And then I will put an announcement up reminding you that there's no class on the 18th, okay? What's your question, Dan? No. No, I would never do that to you. Well, I can't say I would never do that to you, but that's not what I'm going to do to you. So I knew I was going to have this conference next week. I just didn't know what day the conference was going to fall on. So I wrote the syllabus in a way, if you notice on the syllabus, it says next week, Wednesday, and the Monday after that covers chapter 52. Chapter 52 will not take us 2 lectures. It will only take us 1. So as a result of that, we will do chapter 52 the Monday after the 18th. Yeah. So you're not going to have to do anything on your own, no. The syllabus was written in a way that I knew I would have the conference. I just didn't know what date the conference was going to be on. So next class, we'll finish chapter 51, and then you'll have next Wednesday off. Feel free to study. Yeah. You have your quizzes to do, right? So you'll have plenty of work to do. but you won't have to be responsible for anything on your own. I won't do that to you. No. And the quiz will be 50 and 51. Yes. Perfect. Anything else, guys? Awesome. I will see you next week, Monday. Enjoy the rest of your week.